Hi, my name is Raven McKnight, and I am back on the Theory of Time YouTube channel podcast. This is my second episode, and I will be interviewing
Jonathan Lamarson Jr.
Mr. Residential Life and Housing, everybody. All right, so I'm gonna start the question off first, to be sure. Do you know what time travel is, Jonathan?
I do.
You do? Okay, so you know that it's the theory that people will be able to time travel through time with a machine and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a new theory. I came up with my own version of theory of time travel, and right now I'm gonna, ask you. I'm gonna tell you about it, and then I'm gonna ask for your feedback on it. All right? Mm-hmm. So my theory of time travel has to do with the idea that people aren't able to time travel via a machine, but with access to their brain. So time traveling device isn't a machine, it's the human mind. And how this works is that I believe that with our subconscious, which is something that we do not have access to, our subconscious is something people usually talk about the subconscious as it's something that happens, but you don't have any recollection of it. Example would be when people say, I subconsciously did this, even though they have no recollection of doing it or knowing anything about it. You know what that is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my idea is that people with access to their subconscious as well will have a better chance of astral projecting. Astral projecting is a huge part of my theory of time travel because we astral project into the timeline, and that's how we get forwards and backwards through the timeline wavelength. And
astral project.
Yes, I am about to explain this to you right now. So my idea comes from, have you ever heard of the universal mind theory or the theory of everything?
No.
Okay, so you have not. Okay, so universal mind theory, aka the theory of everything, is basically the idea that everything in the world, no matter what it is, no matter what, anything you can think of, period, including human beings, is connected to the universe. And my theory is that our subconscious is what is our link to the universe and what makes us close to the universe and makes us acknowledge that this is what connects us to the universe. So with this idea is that if we are able to access our subconscious while being conscious, we are able to access that part of our mind while being fully aware of that, then we will be able to, it will make it easier for us to astral project. You know what astral projection is? Do you know what astral projection is? Okay, you do not know what astral projection is. Okay, so astral projection is basically, it's you ever heard of out-of-body experiences? My body could be right here.
You talking about Quando Rondo?
What?
You talking about Quando Rondo?
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
He had an out-of-body experience.
I'm talking more so purposefully.
He said somebody hit him and he had an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, he probably came up out his body. But basically, yeah. But what I'm basically saying is that astral projection is when a person is able to leave their body, their essence, their consciousness, or their soul is able to leave their body, and they're able to look at it but still be moving around without us knowledge. Kind of like spiritually.
No, when you sleep and you have a dream. And you
yeah,
have a dream about. Yeah. Okay. You can't move, but you can see everything else around you.
Yeah. Well, more so we can see, and we still have knowledge of everything because we're kind of it's kind of like a spiritual experience. Our spirit comes out of our body or something like that.
Okay.
And our body is still right here though. Right. So basically, if we have access to our subconscious consciously, then it'll make it easier for us to astral project.
So you saying that time traveling will be done through that out of body experience?
Yes, I'm saying that time travel would not be via a machine or a manufactured man-made machine, but more so through the human mind that takes a lot of training.
Will your mind just go, or will your whole body go?
That's the thing. I'm about to explain that right now.
Okay.
So basically the idea is that a person who's when they have access to their subconscious while being conscious, then they can learn how to astral project on instinct, they can do it themselves, not just a random occurrence I just astral projected by accident or something like that. They make it happen. So when a person's able to do that, this is what brings back the universal mind theory, aka the theory of everything, comes into play. So when a person is able to do that, like I said, everything is connected to the universe, everything period, including the timeline. The timeline is a connection to the universe. The timeline is a part of the universe. Past, present, and future, that's a part of the universe, all right? So if a person is able to access their part or become conscious of the part of them that's connected to the universe, then they are able to connect to the timeline, going past to present or going to the past, present, and the future. So when a person is able to astral project, that's how they would time travel. Their astral projection, aka their spirit, aka their essence and their consciousness, will be what goes through the timeline. I went past and then I went to the future. Not taking their entire body, just like their essence. So they would be there, example, they would be in the 50s but in spiritual form, like their actual bodies wouldn't be there, but they would be seeing everything and they know where they are. It's like, oh, I am here. I know what's going on. It's kind of like a ghost or something like that. I don't think that's the best example I can give, but like off the top of my mind, like the one I can see that would make the most understandable is like kind of like ghosts. You know, like you know what I mean? All right. So that's how I believe, like, that's another theory. That's my theory of time travel. Basically, that we will time travel via the subconscious that connects us to the universe, aka the timeline, then puts us past, present, and future and stuff. So, after telling you that, I'm going to ask you a question. I would like your feedback. Like, what do you think of this theory? Like, what does this theory mean to you?
Honestly, I don't necessarily believe in that theory because I feel that I'm one with myself, and if we was able to, like, hey, say we gonna time travel through our minds and things like that, then what else could be possible? I mean, some people should have superpowers right now if that's the case. Some people should be, I think it was like 90%. What was that movie when a girl, like 90% of her, she had drugs in her body, and it made her use all her cells, like, and then like all her brain was working, but at the end, like.
Are you talking about the film Lucy with Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah. If that's the case, that stuff like that would be possible.
Okay. Well, the thing is, the reason why this theory came into play in like the subconscious, I know you're saying that people have superpowers and stuff like that. Have you ever heard of like when people say we only use a certain percentage of our brain? And the subconscious, like when they say we only use a certain percentage, that means we don't have a certain access to a certain percentage of our brain. The subconscious is among the accesses that we don't have access to. So that would explain why you're saying, like, well, people have superpowers or something like that now. Nobody has access to that. Plus, they don't have access to other parts of the brain, too. But the theory really revolves around 100% access to the brain. Like, there's steps to be able to get access to your subconscious. Like, example, the memory test. Like, you have to be able to access your subconscious, which holds, like, all of your memory. Yeah, like that's like you do stuff subconsciously, but it's like I don't know how I know how to do this. It's like I don't remember ever learning how to do this. That's because you learned it. That's because it's in your memory. It's in your subconscious. You just don't remember anything. It's just in your subconscious. The same way like we live our entire. How old are you?
21.
You're 21 years old, but do you remember every single thing that's ever happened in your life? Period. See, and the reason why you don't is because a lot of your memories and stuff that you don't remember is in your subconscious. It happens, you remember it, but you don't remember it. If that makes sense. So you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like basically like a part of being able to time travel with this theory is that you have to have access to your subconscious because it gives you remembrance of everything, and it makes you like even conscious of things you didn't even realize before. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So like, but I will continue to like to receive your feedback. Like, what were you saying?
I don't even.
You were saying like you don't believe it because you have like you feel like you're one with yourself.
Yeah, I feel like and my people from Louisiana, so we believe in ghosts and things of that sort too. So.
Oh, really? You're from Louisiana? What part?
I can't remember. There goes that memory I'm telling you about. I have to ask them again, but I got some people from Louisiana, and they real in touch with themselves and the spirits, and I feel like. That wouldn't be the way to try time traveling. If we was gonna time travel,
so you feel like time travel would have to be via a machine.
Not in touch with time like that. Like, I feel like time and space and things of that sort is one place, and we're here. We're at another place, and I don't feel like even though our subconscious would be like, hey, it's big boy when we can use all of it and things like that. I don't feel like that would be the way of time traveling.
Okay. Well, like, the idea, like, I haven't really gone deep into it. I kind of just gave you, like, the milestone of it. Well, not the milestone, but, like, the overview of it so I could, like, to get you to understand what it is. But kind of like you said, like, you don't feel like we have in touch with time. That's the purpose, like, of because, like, memory technically is time because it shows you time. And you getting access to your subconscious and all of those memories are like that, it gives you closer to time because you have a better sense of time. It's like, okay, this happened this time, this happened this happened, this, and that.
So all we would be able to do is go back and see and not do nothing?
But the thing is, you would be able, I don't think I explained this part. Okay, so when a person would be able to time travel with their essence, aka their conscience, their, stuff like that, their spirit, they will have the ability to go back and forwards in time. But that's because the everything has a wavelength. You know what I'm saying? So time also has its own wavelength, past, present, and future. When our subconscious, when we astral project, you go into the astral plane and you connect. And astral plane has a bunch of wavelengths in there. You can connect to the time wavelength and go forwards or backwards. The only thing is you're not taking your whole body. You're just taking like your mind, your consciousness.
If we was going to be able to time travel for real, our whole body would go with it. Yeah. Actually, time traveling probably is real right now. We don't know it.
Yeah. I also have
government. Hey, government. I got my eyes on you. Okay, got my eyes on you.
I also have like a theory like that you can take the human body with you, but that's after like you have to phase it with you. And that takes like a lot of like mental power or whatever. Mm-hmm. But even though with this theory, like my theory of time travel, because it started off as like a simple like concept or whatever, not everybody would be able to do this. Only a few people would be able to do this because like I said, there are like tests and like trials you have to go to even be able to access it, and that's if you live through those trials. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like only a select few, like anybody can do it, but only a few can actually do it, if you know what I'm saying. Like actually live long enough to do it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So a person like we could have like 10 people trying to do this, and then the only person that makes it to the end is like 1 or 2 people, and only one person actually makes it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like the theory, like this theory of time travel is kind of just like I personally don't believe that we could I know we want to say like in all the movies and sci-fi movies, it's always like a machine that takes us, right? That takes our whole bodies. Personally, to me, I feel like it's more of an internalized thing than just a manufactured machine. Because like you said, we don't have access to time, but the thing is we do. We just can't make a machine that has access to time because a machine is just a machine. We could technically have some form of connection to the universe or whatever. That's why like when things happen, it kind of affects us. Like example, like when it rains or something like that, like we have connection to nature, and nature is a part of the universe, right? Or like we have connection to other things. Like we are connected in some way, even if we don't like know it or we don't like realize it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like we would have a better chance ourselves of time travel instead of somehow somebody creating a machine and thinking of like the math problem to time travel. Because I don't think that would be like, I know it sounds cool, but I don't think like if we did time travel, I don't think it would be via that. I think it would be via like the human brain, like us phasing enough and like connecting to the astral planes and stuff like that. Like it would take a lot than just creating a machine. Yeah. So like, what do you think of that? If you heard anything of what I just said.
Yeah, I did. But I still take my stand. I don't believe it.
Oh no, you can still take your stand. I told you something else. I was trying to say what you thought about that. I'm asking your opinions on the stuff. It's not to change your opinion. Oh. This isn't to change nobody's opinion. This is just us having a discussion and me asking for feedback.
If that was the case, then I would feel that you only can go as far as you lived.
Because I feel like also with time travel, I feel like we have a better chance. It would be easier to travel to the past than to the future because the future is more unpredictable.
Yeah. And I feel like if you was to go to the future, because I can't wrap my head around your mind being the key to time. So I can't wrap my head around it. So the only thing I can see is us going backwards. And when we go backwards, it'll only be for our lives. And what we'll see is what was around us and what we remember. What we don't even remember. Like say, hey, if we 20 years from now, if this was possible, we go back here to this day right here, we will see everything around us. Like the refrigerators, yeah.
But the thing is, like that's another thing with the time traveling to the future. You could imagine a place, okay. Let's say it's not a building, but it's like a place. Okay, I know that I want to be in a place like I recognize this tree. When I go to the future, I want to see this tree again. It'll take you back here to this tree, but the buildings might be different. Or it might take you back to the spot where the tree was, and the tree might not still be there anymore, but it was a place that you remember. It's like, okay, this place right here, take me somewhere. Take me to this place, kind of. But everything around it is different. But overall, like, throughout all the time travel, I just want to know your end result. I know you said your opinion isn't going to change, but what do you think? Like, do you think it was a good theory?
Honestly, no. But you're my friend and I love you, okay?
Okay, so he did not think it was a good theory of time travel. That's all I need to know. Thank you, Janathan, for being on this episode 2 of the Theory of Time podcast, aka YouTube channel. I appreciate the gesture, and have a good day.
Love, peace, and joy.
Bye.